All right, everybody, welcome to BO Boys for Sunday, August 23rd. F it, it's a raw feed. We're doing it live remotely. I'm Clayton.
Yeah, I'm Pat. Clayton, I am on vacation, but because I love our listeners, I want to BO Boys, want to BO Girls, want to BO people. I'm taking a little break from my vacation to broadcast. And you know what? I just couldn't resist talking about this weekend at the box office because, we went low on a few things and movies did better than we even thought. So I'm always happy to see that. So I had to stop my vacation, get on here. Let's throw some praise to another big box office weekend.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a plow?
I would love for my vacation location, undisclosed, where I'm having a luxurious time, I would love for you to give a you not on vacation plow.
Working
for
hard
the
as
box
ever.
You're always in the soot mines. They don't let you take a vacation.
No. That soot builds up.
Yes. Yeah. Now more than ever, when people like me are traveling around, going on vacation, we just create even more soot for you to mine.
Well, yeah, the summer is the biggest time for me.
Yes.
Because of the vacations, like you said, they do generate a lot of soot. So,
yep, you're welcome. So, not that you get paid anymore for the extra soot, but
no, we don't. There's no sort of profit sharing.
No, definitely not. But I'm on vacation. You're not. So
and no union. I busted that.
Wow, against your own interests. Just okay. Good for you. Stick to your principles, no matter what. You know what? You love to see that in this country. You stick to your principles, even if those principles really F you over in the end.
Because fuck me.
Exactly. I agree. So can you give us a plow for the box office weekend of Friday, August 21st?
Number one, Spider-Man Brand New Day made $39 million, down 45%. It's at $854.9 million after 24 days of release. Number two, Insidious Out of the Further made $25.3 million in its first frame. Number three, The Odyssey made $19.5 million, down 17%. It's at $539 million after 38 days of release. Number four, Paw Patrol, the Dino movie, made $9.1 million, down 55%. It's at $35.4 million after 10 days of release. Number five, The End of Oak Street made $9 million, down 57%. It's at $37.9 million after 10 days of release. Number six, Mutiny made $7.5 million in its first frame. Number seven, Tony made $5 million. That is a weekly change of 576%. It is at $6.6 million after 17 days of release. Number eight, another newbie, Spa Weekend, made $3.1 million in its first weekend of release. Number nine, The Fast and Furious made $3.1 million. Nearly tied with Spa Weekend. It's at $148.2 million in its entire run. This is a re-release. And breaking into the number 10 spot, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma made $1.9 million. That is a increase of 113%. It is now at $3.6 million after 17 days of release, and that is your top 10.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Camp Miasma, we saw this, we talked about this, we watched it with Kevin Bacon. Go back to a few weeks ago, we give our exclusive report of watching this movie with Kevin Bacon. So it's in the top 10. I think this is about as high as this is going to hit. I don't think this is going to be some kind of horror sensation. But it's cool that this movie even has gotten into the top 10. I will say, got a boots on the ground from our OG wannabe O girl. Saw this and hated it.
Okay.
Hated it. And we're not critics, huh? She is not a critic, huh? But she just did want to report and get this on the air that she hated this movie. So if you've liked her reports on this show over the year, you want to put any stock into what she says, hated it.
Now, had she seen TV Glow?
Maybe, but she didn't care.
Okay.
It wasn't her thing. Basically, her report was she realized 10 minutes in, remembered that she hates Hannah Einbinder and also hates movies about movies.
So this was not in her wheelhouse.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you, because this leads us into something else. She also reported that while she was watching Camp Miasma, she was then on her apps, not the apps you're on, different apps, and she was looking to see if she could find a time to go leave this movie and go see Spa Weekend.
Oh, so she needed a respite from this movie. She was like, I need a spa.
Yes.
After Camp Miasma. I mean, listen, roughing it is not for everyone. Some people like to go camping. Some people like to go to the spa. Maybe she's more of a spa than a camp person, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, and knowing this OG wannabe girl, she has always been more of a spa person, and the idea of her going to camp always made no sense. But she didn't get to Spa Weekend, and based on these numbers, not a lot of people got to Spa Weekend. This was not the return of your 2000s girl power comedies at the box office for Spa Weekend.
No, so we're jumping up to number 8, jumping over Fast and Furious, which had the sort of re-release numbers we were expecting for Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah. Oddly enough, the Fast and Furious franchise does still remain more popular than the Wet Hot franchise. But, like Podcast Jesus Kirk Minahan said a few episodes ago, Wet Hot will try it again at the 50th anniversary. And maybe that'll be where it clicks. Maybe 50 years after the release of Wet Hot is when the audience will finally come out in a big way.
Yeah,
when its original audience is in their 70s and 80s.
You never know.
Yeah.
And a little off topic, but we were talking by
we're bouncing around
virtual water cooler. I was talking about. I just right before getting on mic here watched American Reunion, which is of course the 4th film in the American Pie franchise. And we were talking
the main franchise, because of course if you're counting the presents, the American Pie franchise is probably 12 to 15 movies deep.
Yes, absolutely.
But the proper deep. Jason Biggs, the Gym franchise, that is a 4-movie franchise.
Yes, it's a 4-movie franchise, and we were talking about, is this 5th one ever going to happen? When's the right time? And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't think the right time is until they're in their 80s.
Yeah.
Truly would be, if we're still alive and they're still alive, there's nothing keeping us from going to see that movie. Because it would be a miracle on both ends.
The 5th movie of the proper franchise needs to be American Hospice.
Yes.
Yeah. That needs to be where it is. And it's basically, they all make a pact that by the end of this weekend, we're all going to die.
Yes, we'll assist each other in ending our lives.
Yes. And they all make a pact, and it's the final night. They all have to die by prom night. That's American Hospice. Yeah. So I agree. Don't make the 5th one anytime soon. And the numbers for Spa Weekend and what we got for the Wet Hot re-release and what we got for the Gail Daughtry movie early in the summer, it's just, again, not promising for a pure comedy at the box office.
No, unless you're Scary Movie.
Right. You have to be IP. I mean, which American Pie is.
Yeah.
But I mean, we also were talking about this at the water cooler. The American Pie franchise, none of the stars are relevant anymore.
No.
It's basically Jennifer Coolidge is the biggest star of that cast in 2026.
And there was a moment where you could say that Jim's dad as well, because he'd had so much success on TV.
Yep.
But I think that time has waned a little bit as well.
I think the Schitt's Creek glow really dimmed immediately. I mean, of course, you had the tragic Catherine O'Hara passing away, but it didn't, the halo didn't carry over with the rest of that Schitt's Creek cast.
No.
I don't know if it's because they all won their Emmys in the COVID year over Zoom, but Jim's dad coming off of Schitt's Creek is not enough. Maybe you make a Naked Mile 2, but you don't make a proper It has to be American Hospice in 25 years. That's the move. So this Spa Weekend, let's get to Spa Weekend here.
Well, did you get boots in the ground from OG Wanna Be O Girl?
She never got to it.
Oh, okay. She
didn't go. Her plan was to leave Camp Miasma in the middle to go see Spa Weekend instead, and she couldn't get the times to line up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the only movie she bought a ticket for was Camp Miasma. So Spa Weekend. There must have been a lot of that where people considered getting a Spa Weekend ticket and didn't do it because it made $3.1 million, a pretty low theater average. I mean, we don't always talk about this theater average, but it averaged $1,500 a theater, which in comparison is half of what Tony averaged. A similar not limited, but like small wide release. So 3.1 is not unexpected, but it's. I mean, and next weekend that movie probably makes 800,000.
Yeah, and again, it's black. It's a Black Bear picture. It's not a major release by a major studio, so the expectations for this would have been small no matter what. Gone are the days where a small comedy does a thing like Obsession does. Which is just build up and build up and build up and build up.
Did Spa Weekend need, because listen, it went with 4 reliable, sturdy comedic actresses. It's Anna Faris. It's what's Judd Apatow's wife, Leslie Mann. It's
Isla Fisher.
Isla Fisher, of course, and Michelle Buteau. And people like all these actresses. They've been in hits. There isn't a younger comedic star. Not that there are that many of them these days, but does this movie do a little better if one of those 4 parts went to Rachel Sennett?
Well,
does that mean anything different? If it's
then that changes the DNA. That changes the DNA of the movie. The movie was made as a draw for middle-aged to older women.
Yeah, totally. But
So,
if you went with one of the 4 being Gen Z, Triple Z, like what generation are we targeting at this point? Like
Gen Z.
Gen Z. So if one of those actresses was a Gen Z actress, was a Rachel Sennett, was a someone comedic from that era, does that add anything, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. Would it be like one of their daughters comes along?
Yes, one of their daughters comes along. Yeah, they're all going to the Spa Weekend, and one of them has to take their daughter.
Yeah, but then it's just then the movie I feel like would,
and the daughter has a bunch of friends who go, and like the daughter's friends sort of take over the spa, and they're doing a lot of like front-facing videos and like sort of bikini videos.
I think the problem with these sort of movies right now too is like who's writing them. The people writing this movie are closer to the ages of these women, so the better shot at it being successful as a comedy and being relatable to an audience is casting these aged actors and actresses, right?
Which I'm all for.
But then if you were to add the Gen Z,
just one of them with her friends,
it wouldn't bring Gen Zers because all the jokes would just be how terrible Gen Z people are.
Yeah, I mean, because it's written by someone in their 50s.
Yeah, it's written by the Hangover guys.
That's right. It is written by the Hangover guys, which maybe that's also
a problem. Yes.
Yeah, that it's by the Hangover guys. It's by 2 of the 6 guys who brought you the Hangover.
The dudes that brought you Hangover bring you Spa Weekend.
Yeah. So that is probably a little bit of a
And don't women just fight all the time? What's their problem?
Right.
Like, that's what this movie feels like. So maybe that had something to do with it, too.
Yeah. The Black Bear-ness of it is probably the biggest problem. The fact that there was 0 promotion for Spa Weekend Nobody knew it existed.
Penetration.
There was no penetration. Yeah, it's the thing is, every time this happens, every time Gail Daughtry and the celebrity sex tape bombs, or a
Pass.
Spa Weekend bombs, sex pass, not sex tape. That was the sequel they hoped they'd get to and never will.
Yeah.
But every time one of these comedies bombs, you get the articles, comedy's dead at the box office, you can't make comedy. And maybe that is a little true. But these movies are just too small to break through.
Of course, yeah. I mean, these bigger studios aren't putting money into them, so they're not going to succeed. Like, this movie would have to be one of the greatest comedies of all time for it to make any sort of money at the box office. And even then, it probably wouldn't have.
You know what? Because you've heard theories. I've heard this on other podcasts. People talk about, why can't we have low-budget comedies the way we have low-budget horror? You know, like you have a Blumhouse or these other mini production companies and studios that they make these low-budget horror movies. Why can't we do that for comedy? And it really just doesn't work that way. Low-budget comedy never breaks out. You know, you've got My Big Fat Greek Wedding is probably still one of the few you could look at. Whereas horror, you could point to 15 movies that were low budget that made $100 million.
Yes. And listen, I don't want to... Indy Navarrete, amazing performance of Obsession. Obviously, like, I'm not going to say that wasn't possibly an Oscar-nominated performance. We loved it. She thought she was great. But on a whole, it is a lot easier to act in a horror movie than it is to act in a comedy movie.
Yes.
Because you have to be funny
the whole time.
And that is very hard to do. And also, it's very hard to write a very funny script that serves the very funny people. It is such a delicate balancing act. Now, there's terrible horror movies and great horror movies that, again, Obsession, I think that had a really great cast, and that's why it succeeded more so than a movie that also was low budget and maybe didn't make as much. But still, a low budget horror movie, I do think, is an easier thing to accomplish than a low budget comedy.
Yeah. Let's move on to something else that a newbie that we kind of underestimated. Mutiny. Jason Statham fighting people on a boat, made $7.5 million this weekend. Not a great per theater average, 2.7 thousand, but it made $7.5 million and finished number 6. And, you know, this is no great shakes. This is not The Beekeeper. This is probably going to stall out in the teens when all's said and done. Maybe it gets to 20 million total domestic. But Statham really does have a high floor. Not a high floor, but he has his people that will come and see him in anything. Because this movie truly was just anything. It is, he will fight people on a boat. And that was the hook, and it still made $7.5 million. You know, Statham, he earns his money because there is no reason to see Mutiny other than it's Jason Statham.
Well, the same director did do Plane.
With Jerry Butler.
Yeah. So this is a director who knows how to do a certain level of action.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're an action person, maybe you found that out and thought, oh, okay, well, he directed a movie that I liked with one of my other favorite action stars. Maybe I'll give this a look, because I can't imagine a world where somebody likes Jerry Butler but doesn't also like Jason Statham.
Yes.
I think you can have different, ones and twos, or like, I like him more, but I can't stand that guy. I couldn't imagine anybody being like, Jerry Butler's my guy. Jason Statham, get out of here.
Right. And Statham is higher end than Butler. Statham's been in stuff that has gotten to a much higher level than Butler gets to.
At this point, yes.
The Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
Spy. Like, he's been to the mountaintop way more than Jerry Butler has ever been.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I mean, 7.5 for this. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I feel, I mean, it is what it is. It's sort of hard to talk about this because it's not a bomb.
It's not a bomb,
and
but
it's not a breakout.
Yes, it's a probably earn its money back when Redbox is accounted for at some point. No one's going to lose their house having invested in Mutiny.
No, because they didn't bet the house, which we say everybody
always bet the house
in regular life should do.
Yes.
But
these
movie executives, movie producers, movie studios, they should be a little bit more thoughtful about what they bet their houses on, only because that would mean less movies if it fails. So
yes, yeah.
But so regular people, there's already there's grates. There's grates where hot air come pretty regularly, so you will have a place to sleep if you do bet the house, which we say always bet the house.
Yes, with DraftKings, with all of the apps. Use all of them at the same time. Bet the same game with different results on every possible gambling app that's in your phone.
And then we always advise. Bet on Kashi or whatever that you're going to lose your bets on DraftKings.
Yes.
And that way you've covered yourself.
You don't bet on Kashi, you predict.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Very important.
Predict that you're going to lose everything on DraftKings, and then when that comes to pass, which it will, you can make a little money on the speculative markets.
Yes. So always be gambling. But yeah, I don't think the producers of Mutiny lost their houses on this movie. Everyone probably comes out fine. So Tony is in the mix there. Now, this is a film we have both now seen. I saw it a few days ago, and I wonder, is there any potential for this to be a word of mouth, steady, move up the charts type of situation? Because I saw this, I liked it more than you did. I think it is a very fun experience.
Yeah.
And I could see this being a movie that people give good reviews and word of mouth to. And it's sort of hanging around, especially in September. We don't have anything big opening until we get to like the third or so week of September. So Tony is the movie that I could see really hanging around that, middle of the top 10 for the next 3 weeks, sort of racking up a couple of million a week. Or do you think this is just going to fall off a cliff and no one's going to be seeing this movie 2 weeks from now?
This feels to me like the people who were waiting for this to come to their city went out and saw it.
Okay.
And that's going to be it.
Okay, you don't think this is a word of mouth, adults tell other adults, it's a nice night at the movies, this is fun, everyone's engaging. I mean, Dominic Sessa from The Holdovers, he's great in this. Antonio Banderas, I think he's not going to get a nom, but I do think he will be in the supporting actor Oscar conversation.
I think it'll be one of those things where people say, oh, wouldn't it be great if he did get it for this? But I don't think it's going to be a serious conversation. You
don't think it'll be serious? You don't think serious people have a serious conversation about Antonio Banderas getting a nom?
No, I don't think so. I mean, as much as this movie I think is well made, and I think there's some good performances in it, I do think the release date for it speaks volumes as to where it lies in the interest of the company who put it out to promote it for Oscars.
Okay, A24 has Primetime coming out the end of September.
That's their dog.
That's their movie, yeah.
And, because that's what everybody's talking about. People are talking about that movie because of Pattinson's big year, his great big year that he's had.
Is Tony a movie that, and we'll see. I mean, we're going to see how it does in the next few weeks, but you're not too high on it. Do you think Tony would have made more sense as a Christmas Day release, the type of movie that it is, if A24 had put it out the Christmas Day or the week before Christmas and tried to ride this as a Christmas corridor, sort of like families looking for something that's not offensive?
It is Pat, there is rough language in this movie.
That's some rough language. People have heard rough language around the
But Pat, this
table.
is not a family film. And you have to remember, this is a movie about Anthony Bourdain, who has a tragic end.
But this movie doesn't
This
touch
is a
that.
movie but if you watch the movie, and you did, we both did,
Yeah.
it is laced with a sort of sadness.
Oh, I don't think it's
Pat,
laced.
it is.
I don't think it's laced. This is not laced.
The thing with this is that I do think that as much as it's not a good time to release something like this for award season, it is a summer movie. It's based in a summer.
Right.
And there is a feeling at the end of summer that you get that we both have right now, although you're on vacation. I never go on vacation.
Yeah.
So
you got to end your summers with vacations, and that way you'll feel like summer's never
But the
ends.
hard-working folks like myself in the Sut Mines,
Right.
the feeling at the end of the summer feels more like, oh, so that was it. There's a, so that's all there is. And I think that's what this movie also has, because if you know anything about this Anthony Bourdain character, it does not end well for him.
I think you're projecting way more of just, because this is what you said about this before they ever made the movie, was that all you could think about with Anthony Bourdain is just the ending. And I do not think that is what most people think of, especially from this movie that ends on it ends on a happy ending. This movie ends very upbeat. I think that this is still a movie that could get some word of mouth. I agree it's not a great time to put this out the last 2 weeks of August.
Yeah.
And I do think if this was more of a Thanksgiving or Christmas release, it actually could have done a lot better than it's probably going to do now. I think this is an upbeat movie. I know that if you read his Wikipedia page, it's a downbeat ending, but this movie is not his Wikipedia page.
I think the movie is
You're
not...
really giving a lot of credence to just reading his Wikipedia page.
No, not at all. I think, and listen, we're not critics, huh?
So
we're
we're
talking
not
a little
people
bit,
who just read Wikipedia pages.
but we're talking a little bit too much about this movie in a critical sense. But I will say that it is a movie that, to its credit, isn't just one emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there is nuance to it. It isn't a happy ending in the way that a lot of Hollywood movies are happy endings. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want you to make it seem like this is a very, like, one-dimensional film either, because there are nuances to it, is what I'm saying.
It's not the ending of Caddyshack.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not the ending of Caddyshack.
Yeah, so we can all agree that it
isn't
isn't that the what is it? There's a
It's All Right doesn't start playing.
well,
Yeah.
there's a big eruption of the water and it shakes everything, and the golf ball goes into the hole, and then at the very end, the gopher comes out and dances.
Yes, this is. We could both say, and we're not
Not to
going to give
spoil.
away. Not to spoil. Tony does not end with the gopher coming out and dancing.
It's not a
in this
gopher,
movie.
we'll say.
It's definitely not. So, but I do think it's still upbeat enough that if it came out around the holidays, it would do better than it's probably going to do now. I think a Christmas Day opening for Tony would have made a lot more sense, and it probably could have opened to like closer to 10 million than what it did.
But I do think we'd have to look also at like what was on the docket this Christmas too.
What does A24 have coming out? Yeah.
And also, it's going to be Doomsday.
But Tony is the type of movie that you put up as a counterbalance to those movies.
Although, but Dune...
It's like a Boys in the Boat type situation.
But Dune, I think Dune is a more... I think Dune is a more, like, same people would see Dune that would see Tony. Do you know what I mean?
Everyone's going to see Dune. I mean, something like Tony is a counterbalance to the gigantic movies that come out around the holidays.
Now, if this movie... I mean, like you said, the possibility here for success is that it is sort of a wasteland for a little bit.
It is. I mean, because this episode is going to be sort of a double, because we're going to do preview of next weekend. And it is a couple of weeks of not gigantic movies. It's not nothing. It's not nothing the next few weeks, but
But it's not Spider-Man and it's not the Odyssey.
No.
It's not any world beaters.
No, I don't think we have a potential blockbuster until Resident Evil in September.
Yeah, I think that gives Tony time to build up a word of mouth.
Yeah, so we'll get to a little preview of next weekend in a bit, but let's just keep going up here. I mean, it's basically, it's holdovers. Let's just quickly, End of Oak Street, $9 million in its second weekend, dropped 57%. So it's not going to be a
dead heat with Paw Patrol Dino Movie.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing here is End of Oak Street is not going to be a word-of-mouth sensation. That would have happened this weekend. Too divisive. I saw this the other night. I liked it. It definitely has a lot of dinosaurs. That is the thing that could be officially confirmed is End of Oak Street is fully a dinosaur movie with tons of dinosaur action in it through the entire movie. And is this movie doing, $37 million after 10 days? It's not going to break out in a major way. Is this a little bit of a black mark on dinosaurs?
Yeah, I mean, we had the conversation on this very show about how dinosaurs are not really a popular IP outside of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And
what are the is there any dinosaur movie that is a full-on blockbuster outside of the Jurassic series?
I mean, Land Before Time has always been had one movie in the theater and then maybe a couple sequels and then straight to video for those dinos.
Right. And you get dinos who, like we've said, have pop up in King Kong and Godzilla movies, but those are King Kong and Godzilla movies.
And they get their ass beat.
They
always get their ass beat.
And I mean, you look at The Good Dinosaurs is like sort of the first Pixar flop.
Yeah.
Is a dinosaur movie. So dinosaurs really aren't as popular as people think they are.
No, dinos bite, and not in a good way.
Yeah.
They bite.
And there's a little bit of we got to say there is a little bit of a crowd splitting this week, because you did open two dino movies against each other, End of Oak Street and Paw Patrol Dino Pops. And so that probably does split that audience a little bit. But it still is End of Oak Street being a full-on dinosaur movie. I did think this was going to open to like 30 and would be a movie that easily is doing 80 or 90 million, if not 100 by the time it's all said and done. And it is just not going to get anywhere near that.
I mean, from what I've heard and from what you have told me, it does not feel like the sort of movie that would break out in a big way because it's not super straightforward.
Yeah.
It's darker than they were showing. And from what I've heard from a lot of people is that it's not a very satisfying film at the end of it.
I think it ends in a fine way. I think it is a movie that kind of has a hard time balancing. Is it a gnarly horror movie, which it definitely is not, or is it a Spielberg, look at the awe of dinosaurs family movie, which it's not. It is kind of a mix that doesn't fully deliver for either of those two things. And maybe just dinosaur movies are hard to do that with because dinosaurs inherently are horrific, but they keep trying to be the magic of what Jurassic Park was, which was a horror movie that also worked for all ages and all families. And I mean, you just keep trying to remake that Jurassic Park, and that kind of is just a 1 in a million movie.
I mean, that's the special Spielberg magic all these guys are trying to replicate, and they can't.
Right.
I mean, this is maybe the epitome of that, which is there's a reason why Spielberg didn't make his E.T. sequel where they all go up on the ship and there's bad ETs and they torture the little kid.
Right.
It's because he's like, oh yeah, well that's not what I do. That's not what this is.
Yeah. And I mean, End of Oak Street, I would say, is the best, is better than any Jurassic Park movie other than the original, but that also is a pretty low bar because in retrospect, every one of the Jurassic sequels stings. And this is much better, I think, than any of those. But it's clear if a dinosaur movie doesn't have the Jurassic IP, people do not care.
Yeah, I agree. I think dinos are not a strong IP, but you could see why people fool themselves into believing that they are because, again, every little kid is going to go through a dino phase.
Yeah. And this movie does give people the thing that we've always thought we wanted after the first Jurassic Park movie, which was, what if dinosaurs were just doing their thing in the real world? And they, this movie has a conceit that figures out how to sort of give you that movie. And I think this shows people don't really care about that either. They don't care about dinosaurs being in their world. They don't care about dinosaurs going to the supermarket. They don't care about dinosaurs walking up and down the street. They only care about dinosaurs walking into the trademark Jurassic Park island, and that is it. If the Jurassic trademark is not there, people do not care about dinosaurs.
So this was a Warner Brothers film?
This is Warner Brothers, yes.
So they're on a bit of a cold streak right now.
They are, right, because they're not the Odyssey. They lost Nolan to Universal, so that's Universal. So what was Warner Brothers' big movie this summer? I mean, it was Supergirl bombed. They must have had something else that we're forgetting that was a big hit.
What they, since One Battle came out.
Yeah.
That was last year.
Yeah.
This year they had Wuthering Heights, which was okay, but didn't break out.
It was a hit. I mean, I think that movie's a hit. It wasn't a sensation, but that was a hit.
But stay with me here.
Yeah. It gets worse.
The Bride.
Okay, that was a disaster. Yeah.
They Will Kill You.
Great movie. They Will Kill. Okay.
Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
Okay, not good. Yeah.
Mortal Kombat 2, which grossly underperformed, was moved back because they thought it was going to be a giant hit, and then it didn't completely eat shit, but it really did underperform greatly.
Yeah.
Then we have Supergirl.
Oh my God.
And then Evil Dead Burn, which
underperformed,
and End of Oak Street, which is a straight up bomb.
Wow, so Warner Brothers did not have a summer movie hit.
No.
Okay, that's pretty bad.
Now, here's what's coming up. Now, Practical Magic 2.
Okay.
September 11th.
Not a great date, yeah, but you had to do it.
But you had to do it.
You had to do it. It is a Friday.
This could go either way.
Yeah.
But even at its highest high, like, this isn't going to be a gigantic hit.
It's not going to be Beetlejuice.
And it's not going to be, not the same studio, but it's not going to be a Devil Wears Prada 2.
It's not. I mean, the thing with Devil Wears Prada is the first one was a giant hit, and then the second one was a bigger hit.
And Practical Magic was never a hit.
It was sort of a hit at the level of like the first Beetlejuice, in that it did well, and then Beetlejuice was a gigantic multi-$100-million blockbuster.
But Practical Magic, it got its fan base through cable, VHS rental, DVD ownership, and then a move towards witchcraft that has happened in our culture.
Yes.
So a lot of factors that weren't around, that when that first one came out, being a witch wasn't looked at as a normal thing to be. Yeah,
I think, we'll get to in a few weeks. I do think this will do better than the first one, and Sandy's a bigger star than when the first one came out. But yes, this is not going to be Warner Brothers having something that makes $200 million. Like, the ceiling on this is still fairly low.
And then after that, Digger, which is a huge swing.
Oh my God. Warner Brothers.
Clayface, Cat in the Hat, and then Dune.
Okay, so Dune is what Yeah, no matter what, Dune will be a giant hit and be up for Best Picture. So that kind of saves their year.
But for a company that last year had Minecraft, Sinners,
right,
Final Destination, Bloodlines,
Weapons,
distributed F1, had Superman, which was decent, and then Weapons, that huge Conjuring movie, and then One Battle.
Right.
They're on the skids right now.
Yeah, there might not be as much thanking Tom and Pam. Was it Tom and Pam? What's his name? It's something and Pam.
It's Jim and Pam.
Jim and Pam, of course. There might not be as many people thanking Jim and Pam as there were last year for Warner Brothers. Yeah, I did not realize that Warner Brothers basically went O for the summer after End of Oak Street. I did not know that. That is, I mean, genuinely, that is some weird, wild stuff.
It is.
Yeah. So, End of Oak Street, I was hopeful for it because I loved the preview at CinemaCon, which I went to this past April. And then I did like the movie, and I was hoping that, you'd look this weekend and made like 13, 14 million, held in the 40% and had better word of mouth, but you would have seen it this weekend. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. So let's talk about the new movie this weekend. And listen, Odyssey, again, did great. Odyssey's up to $539 million.
Can I say something quickly?
Did I blow past that too quickly? Did I not give my
No.
I
just want to show that the perennial sort of interest with this Odyssey. And I already saw this movie. I saw it in a regular movie theater.
Yep.
But I was on the app, not the other apps I'm on, the same app that I'm on with Wannabe the OG.
Yeah. OG Wannabe Girl, yeah.
And I booked myself a ticket for the AMC Lincoln 70 millimeter IMAX to see The Odyssey, a movie I did not even like.
Wow.
And the reason was because it's just the way you have to see it. If you live in New York City and you have an opportunity, you got to do it.
It's a status symbol. Now, you booked this movie ticket on the movie app, on your AMC app. Mm-hmm. Will you go to one of the many other apps you're on, one of the dating apps, and now put in your headline or your bio or your caption? I don't know how those work. I don't need to be on those.
Of course.
Will you put, I have a ticket to see The Odyssey in 70 millimeter IMAX?
Yeah,
Could
why
that
not?
be your screen name?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
It can only help. It won't hurt.
Right.
But this is in September.
Okay. So that it's in September. So now, are you looking for something that long term? We're only in August. Do you want to be talking to someone on the app who you're supposed to still be knowing in September?
Yeah, no. I only want casual hookups.
Yes. That's what I assumed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
not,
you didn't get
not anything heavy, and don't be too serious.
Right. Don't get clingy. You don't want a stage 4 clinger.
Well, yeah, and also just like, why so serious, right?
Yes. Well, that was your previous screen name on the app.
Why so serious? Yeah.
Yeah, and that did well. Did well with a certain type. Yeah. So, congratulations, you got tickets to see The Odyssey.
And it's not front row, and I don't have to pretend that I'm in a wheelchair.
Great. Which you should still do anyway, because,
Well, I do it for insurance reasons. I mean, technically, I'm supposed to forever be in a wheelchair.
Right. And your view right now in this on camera, because we are YouTubers, hey guys, no one could tell whether or not you are in a wheelchair. So for insurance purposes, yes, you are.
No, and the way you were talking about Tony, I was like, is this guy in a rascal?
Well, for insurance purposes, we're all in rascals at all times. So you're seeing this movie. You're not seeing it at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is like an actual...
No, this is like 6 p.m.
Prime time showing.
And a not...
Way to go.
In a not bad seat. I'm in the third row.
Okay, so you're really also giving time, location. We haven't given date, but we know it's sometime in September. It's a 6 p.m. showing, third row. So if Wannabe O Boys, Wannabe O Girls, Wannabe O people, do want to find Clayton, we're starting to narrow it down. AMC Lincoln in September, third row of a 6 p.m. showing. So
listen, I'm ready to be taken out if that's what they want to do.
That is the power of the Odyssey. That not only have you gotten tickets, but you are also giving away location and giving up anonymity. So good on you. So Odyssey doing great, but finished behind a newbie this weekend, Insidious, out of the further, 25 million. So that is more than we thought. This franchise is even sturdier than we thought. We both kind of thought Rose Byrne's out, Patrick Wilson's out. The last movie was the fifth one. It kind of felt like the swan song for the series. And people still went to this and made 25 million, down from the last movie, obviously. But I mean, this is an Insidious movie that is headlined by Lin Shaye, not by Rose Byrne or Patrick Wilson, and it still did great.
Well, it's one of those things where, when with Backrooms and Obsession, there's always that idea that the new is going to totally push out the old immediately. The whole, grunge killed hair metal.
Yeah.
It's like when you actually look at those charts and you look at the radio hits, some of these hair metal bands or these hard rock bands that weren't grunge were still having hits into the mid-90s.
Yes.
They were still bands that were successful, that had songs that people liked, and they would still try and see what do these people have that are new.
Yep. You never stopped listening to Poison and
they're Pennsylvania guys. They're originally from PA, of course. Yeah. You got to rep your hometown boys. And so I think something like that is we have these sturdy horror franchises that, sure, are they as sexy as Pearl Jam?
Right.
In 91? No, but Def Leppard still was going strong, and people still listen to Def Leppard in 91. There's no shame in that. This is Def Leppard in 1991 or 92.
Right. I mean, Guns N' Roses didn't go away the day Nevermind dropped.
No, they had Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 were huge. They had November Rain was all over MTV.
Yes. People think November Rain came out like 85. Came out in the early 90s.
No, they were coexisting. So that's the thing with a franchise like this is that it's Guns N' Roses.
Yes.
I mean, is the Spaghetti Incident a great album? No, but people still bought it.
Right. Yeah, we're not at the Chinese democracy point of the Insidious franchise yet.
No.
Yes.
No, that'll be years and years from now, and it'll go through a lot of iterations, and then it'll come out, and no one will care.
Right. Here's what we can say: Lin Shaye is not Buckethead.
No, that's
Lin
great.
Shaye
She is not Buckethead.
Not Buckethead.
No.
We could officially say that now, after Insidious opened at 25 million. Lin Shaye is no Buckethead.
No, she's like Duff McKagan.
Yes. So good for Insidious, 25 million. Will it? Yeah, but all these Insidious movies kind of don't multiply incredibly well.
No.
Right? That's the story of these. The last one, I think, opened to 40, but probably made 80 domestic. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But I think they all, open okay, do okay. They're not, they're not going to multiply in incredible well. So let's see. The Red Door was the movie that opened at 33 million and got to 82 million. So it did like less than a 3 times multiplier. So you figure this is a movie that probably gets to 70 million domestic.
Yep. Which is, in this day and age, great. The budget is low.
Yes. There will be a 7, there will be an 8 as far as Insidious.
And the thing with this is that while it's still connected to the older films, it's succeeding without those cast members. So therefore there is a road ahead. But again, Evil Dead, which is different because there's not a consistent person in this through line anymore. Bruce Campbell obviously no longer part of the he's not in these new movies at all. So he's not like the through line the way Lin Shaye is.
Yes. And I did see something Bruce Campbell, I think just in the last week or so, did put out, was in some kind of interview. He said he will never play Ash again. Like,
which
he
I think
fully
is
put
smart.
it to bed. Yeah.
The thing with the Evil Dead is this last one underperformed. So who knows? I mean, Insidious has gone on, for a good amount of time. And I don't want to say like, well, the next one's going to tank. But I mean, this is good that this is still succeeding. But there's always the possibility that you could then have an Evil Dead burn. And then you're like, where do we go?
Right. And then at a point you say, we've made a lot of these. We'll take a break. And of course, we'll make another one someday.
Well, I mean, Paranormal Activity, which has yet to return to the big screen, but is still something that will happen, obviously.
Right.
And then Final Destination, a movie we just talked about with the success at Warner. That was a franchise that was dead.
Yes.
Everybody thought was dead. They were trying to make another one, and then they came out with the second best installment.
Yes.
Maybe the best installment, honestly.
Yeah.
But that can happen.
Yeah. With these horror franchises, they're like the villains. They are kind of unkillable. In that once they have broken through and people recognize the name, they will keep making sequels. Maybe you have to take a longer gap. But I mean, the Insidious franchise is not at that point yet. You can make another Insidious movie in 3 or 4 years, and it'll probably make enough money opening weekend to be worthwhile.
100%. Good for Insidious. It is. We do need these sturdy franchises.
Yeah.
That can prop up a weekend like this.
Right.
Without really any barn burning other openers.
Yeah. But you really nailed it. If Obsession and Backrooms are, Nirvana and Pearl Jam, then Insidious is a Guns N' Roses album still doing well in the early 90s. Let's look ahead. I mean, is there anything we want to say about the number one movie this weekend was Spider-Man Brand New Day. Expected. And it passed Avengers Endgame. Right? Or is it a few million behind Avengers Endgame? It's either past it or it's about to pass it for the second biggest domestic movie of all time. Number one is still Star Wars Force Awakens in the $950 million range. But yes, Spider-Man Brand New Day has passed Endgame. Still making $39 million. Yeah, so it's gonna. Here's the thing: Endgame is doing a re-release in September, but I do think Brand New Day is still going to make so much more money in the next month or so that the Endgame re-release will not get it back past wherever Brand New Day finishes. Because I don't think that Endgame re-release in September is going to do $30 million. I was going to say, what does it do? It does Fast and Furious numbers. Yeah, right? I mean, more than that. It could make 11. It could make 12. Right, but I don't think it's not like Star Wars original trilogy coming out in the 90s where those open to $30 million. That's not going to happen with Endgame in a couple of weeks. I don't think so. So yes, Brand New Day is going to end up at worst the second biggest domestic movie of all time. And it's probably going to pass Force Awakens, right? Can we say that now? I think so. Is this movie going to do $1 billion domestic? I was just going to say $1 billion domestic. I mean, it made almost 40. It's at 854.9. So basically 855. Does it have another $145 million to go? That's a lot, but I think it's going to get there. And I think the closer it gets to the billion, the more people will go see it to do it. And I think Sony's going to have to get it. If this movie gets to 970, you got to do something. Yeah, Sony's going to have to figure out how to get it to $1 billion. IMAX re-releases, just give away bed sheets and shit like that. Just get it to $1 billion. Full on Kickstarters. Do a Kickstarter that last couple of weeks, or it's like donate to this, call up Angel Studios. Could we borrow some of your QR codes? But they got to get Brand New Day to 1 billion domestic.
Yeah, it worked for me. Listen, if you add something to the end of this movie, you have Tom Holland, Spider-Man himself, at the end of this movie, sit down and be like, I hope you enjoyed Spider-Man Brand New Day. We all had a great time making it, and I think it's a very important movie with a very important message. And then he's got his phone out, and he's like, I just scanned a QR code so that I just bought a ticket for somebody. Same thing. Just do the same thing.
Do the same thing. Just do Jeff Daniels' speech word for word. Have him say, this is a very important message about what happens when two nations could get to the brink of war. Just have him say that in a Spider-Man mask. Who cares?
Yeah. And then put that QR code on the screen. You don't think fanboys are going to spend $15 extra to get this thing to 1 billion? Of course they will.
Yeah. I think it's getting there, and the Avengers Endgame re-release in September isn't going to.
It's crazy. These Spider-Man movies broke the initial biggest weekend ever, famously, with the first Spider-Man movie, and they just keep setting records. These Spider-Man movies are the they're. I mean, I was going to say Sears, but Sears went out of business. But they really are blue chip.
Yes. Yeah, it's listen, we've said it, bigger than Jesus. There is no bigger IP than Peter Parker Spider-Man, and I think it's only fitting that Spider-Man ends up the biggest domestic earner of all time and gets to 1 billion domestic. I think at this point it has to happen. It has to happen. So let's look ahead, because again, we're doing a sort of double episode taping right now because I'm on vacay, and starting tomorrow it's full vacay. This is like partial vacay. Tomorrow it is, don't text me, don't look at me, I'm on vacay.
Must be nice.
Oh, it's great. It is, I love it. I truly do love it. The way
Breaking
you love
news.
Soot. Yeah.
Pat loves vacation.
I do. I really do, because you know what it is?
Who had that on their bingo card?
No, nobody had that on their bingo card for this year. I mean, come on. Let's look ahead to next weekend, which is the weekend of Friday the 28th. The big one is The Dog Stars from 20th Century. It is a Ridley Scott movie, sort of a post-apocalyptic movie based on a novel, and Jacob Elordi is the star. This feels like it's a movie. I mean, you want big movies to open every possible weekend of the year. You don't want there to be times of the year where absolutely nothing comes out. So on one hand, I am glad that this Dog Stars movie is coming out on August 28th, but it does sort of feel like anything coming out on August 28th, there's got to be a reason why they're putting it there.
Yeah, this movie supposedly cost $110 million. It stars Jacob Elordi, who's a hot star that they're trying to push, and they're dumping it.
But are they? Maybe they're not.
I think they're dumping it, Pat.
It's tough because, yes, that is our assumption, is they're dumping it because it's coming out on August 28th. But maybe it is just, this will be the movie that hits opening on the last Friday in August.
It doesn't seem to have acquired any buzz.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be a movie that people are excited about. I've heard nobody talking about this film.
Was it this book, The Dog Stars? How big was this book? This was an airport bookstore book, right?
I mean, you definitely would see it on the, shelves out front of bookstores, but
was it a gas station book? Was it a sort of like at the register of Target book? Was it that level? Was it it wasn't a Colleen Hoover, Grisham, Lee Childs type book. It didn't get to
I don't think it got that big. I think it got to the point where it was definitely, on the table of like, oh, People buy these books, but it's not a Colleen Hoover, and it's not a Jack Reacher, and it's not, something like that, I don't think.
It's not the gas station Spindle, where
No,
truck drivers know that this was a book.
Truck
drivers
think so.
don't know this was a book.
Probably not.
Okay. So the book aspect of it is probably not going to be pushing it higher than it normally would go. Jacob Elordi is the star. Do you think that is going to, he's coming off of Wuthering Heights, which didn't break out in a crazy way, but did well, was a big movie. People liked it. He got his Oscar nom last year for a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
So he's sort of still in that Austin Butler level of stardom, right? Maybe a little higher than Austin Butler now. It's been a while since Elvis, but he's still waiting to break out in a Timmy mainstream way. He's nowhere near that yet.
I think his stardom is project dependent.
Yeah.
I think you're going to want to see the movie as well as see him.
Right.
And we saw this with Butler last summer, I believe, right? Was it last summer, Caught Stealing?
It was basically this weekend or the weekend after last year. Caught Stealing was like first Friday in September. Here's the thing. I think that this is as late as Labor Day could fall on the calendar. I think Labor Day is like Monday, September 7th. I forget sometimes when Labor Day is because I'll probably be on vacation.
You're on vacation, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a late Labor Day, so you're getting this last Friday weekend in August, and then Labor Day weekend the weekend after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like two of those weekends in a row.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing about the Dog Stars. It's post-apocalyptic, right? It doesn't feel like the post-apocalyptic aspect of it is easily discernible. Maybe because there's not zombies in this movie or there's not overly post-apocalyptic signs. It's not a horror movie.
I mean, Pat, frankly, I saw this trailer and thought they just lived in the stacks.
Yes, that's kind of that's I think a little bit of a problem is it just feels like what America feels like today.
It could be Gary, Indiana.
Yes. And listen, is that this movie didn't go hard enough on the post-apocalyptic aspect, or does America today go too hard on being post-apocalyptic? That's, probably a little bit of both. But it doesn't feel that futuristic. And there's something about the title, The Dog Stars, like, is this a war movie?
I mean, I think it's about a guy with a plane, right?
It's about a guy with a plane. Yeah, there's nothing about this movie that feels very just sort of like surface level. Here's an easy log line for it.
I feel like this, to me, is a Netflix movie.
You hate saying that.
But that's what it looks like.
There shouldn't be Netflix movies. There should only be movies in theaters that eventually end up on Netflix.
But this looks like a Netflix movie they would have made in 2023 or something.
Okay.
That would have dropped on the surface and be like, hey, did you know Ridley Scott has a Netflix movie? And people were like, oh, wow, Ridley Scott's doing Netflix movies? And then it would be the most watched movie for a month. And then no one would ever watch it again. That's what this looks like.
But you know what? It's hard to predict what this is going to do because it's such a dead weekend. People don't look for anything new the end of August. But it is great to me that there is a big studio movie with a big director, with a sort of like rising star that theaters are getting on the last weekend in August, because you don't want to see, which we've had in other years in the early 2020s, where you go 3-4 weeks and the studios are giving these theaters nothing.
Oh, 100%.
So it's great that next weekend the Dog Stars, even if this movie does 15 million opening weekend.
It'd be lucky to do that, I feel like.
Okay. Well, it does 10 million. It's getting a promotional push. Like, this is great for theaters that this is happening next weekend. That August 28th isn't just Coyote versus Acme and Buddy, which it could have easily been. It's those movies and the Dog Stars.
Now, I'm going to go through this cast.
Okay.
And you let me know if this makes you more wanting to see it or less wanting to see it.
Okay.
Let's go cast member by cast member.
Okay. I'm not going to look at it. You give it to me. This is me going in cold.
Of course, we know Jacob Elordi.
More, for sure.
Margaret Qualley.
I mean, for me, that's a less. I'm kind of out on Margaret Qualley, but I do think people who know her or see her are more likely to nothing.
So that's a push.
That's
Nobody's going to say
Margaret
no because she's in it.
Yes, exactly. She's a push.
Josh Brolin.
Positive. And I think for the general public, he's been famous forever, liked him as a kid. Weapons was a big hit a year ago. I think he's a big positive.
Well, speaking of Weapons, Benedict Wong.
Oh, positive, but, it's not going to get anyone to go because of him. But I think he's a great face to have on a poster or, in a commercial. Guy
Pearce.
Negative, because even though he was great in the Architect movie. What is that called again? The Architect movie?
The Brutalist.
The Brutalist, that had the intermission. The Brutalist. It's great in The Brutalist, but people hate the second half of that movie and kind of think of the last image you have really of Guy Pearce in that movie.
Oh, so they're blaming Guy Pearce for that second half of the movie.
Yeah, and the last time one of the last things Guy Pearce does in that movie is people don't love that scene.
No, and we know no spoilers for The Brutalist, but
no spoilers for The Brutalist, but yeah, I think Guy Pearce is a negative because people who saw The Brutalist are like, this guy again. So that's a negative. But
okay, and here's the last one. Allison Janney, Oscar award-winning Allison Janney.
I mean, for me, that is a big negative.
Yeah.
That is a big negative because she shouldn't have that Oscar.
Laurie Metcalf should have that Oscar.
Yes. So
Laurie Metcalf should be in Dog Stars.
Yes. With her Oscar that she won for Lady Bird instead of Allison Janney getting the I, Tonya Oscar.
Yeah.
So Allison Janney's a negative for me.
All right, so up and down.
Up and down, but I think the main thing is at the top, Elordi's a positive. And again, if this movie, August 28th, gets some young fans of Elordi, gets the bros who worship Ridley Scott, it's an action movie, Is
Ridley Scott a guy that people care about?
I think that... Yes, he made Blade Runner. He made Alien. Obviously, he's made a ton of shit. But he's a guy that the Letterboxd crowd still wants to see a Ridley Scott movie. So yeah. I think this is an oddly big movie for the end of August that could do way more money than a new movie on the last Friday in August usually does. Now, do you think? Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it does? I think it does over 10 million, right? I think
barely.
I think it gets to 15. I think it's getting a big enough push that it's going to get to 15 million.
Well, so the big news this weekend, though, is that a movie escaped the vault.
Yeah.
And no one seems to care.
Well,
Coyote versus Acme is finally coming out.
Yeah.
Starring Will Forte.
Yep.
And John Cena.
Yes.
And the Bugs Coyote Bunny. And the Roadrunner.
Yeah. Okay, is Bugs Bunny in this movie? Is Bugs Bunny and Coyote v. Acme?
Let me check the cast list.
I mean, I guess he could be in it as a cameo, uncredited. They have Bugs Bunny playing another character. I guess you could do something like that.
Okay, so according to the cast list,
yeah,
Bugs Bunny is in this movie.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. I think that helps. I definitely think that helps because they did a Looney Tunes movie a couple of years ago with no Bugs Bunny, right? Wasn't there like a Porky Pig movie that Bugs Bunny
Daffy
didn't
and
show his
Porky.
face in? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the problem with this movie is it is Ketchup Entertainment, and Ketchup Entertainment is only going to have so many dollars to promote a movie. So they're really relying on the internet lore and the backstory of Coyote versus Acme to be how people know about it. The fact that Warner Brothers was going to vault it with Batgirl and The Day the Clown Cried, and it got out of the vault. No one gets out of the vault. This got out of the vault. And they're hoping that that is what gets the attention. But also, are they putting any commercials on TV for this movie? Do kids know about it? Do kids care? Is this just an adult play? Is this an adult film?
I think that's the thing with these movies is that Looney Tunes ostensibly was for children, but it felt always like it wasn't aiming for kids.
Yes.
But also the thing with that is all those old Looney Tune cartoons were made in like the 30s and 40s where there were no such thing as teenagers or kids. You were babies and then you were factory workers and then you were military personnel. So the jokes were not aimed at the coddled, milk-fed babies that are now like 32-year-old adolescents. That we have now.
Okay. Yeah, it's Looney Tunes' relevance to kids probably died about 20 years ago. I mean, we obviously came
after
up
Space Jam.
Yes.
Probably even pre-Space Jam. Space Jam gave a blip of like notoriety to them. And then also, of course, the T-shirts, the Looney Tunes T-shirts were big in the 90s.
Yeah, so I think that the Looney Tunes were doing fine until like the 2000s is probably when they started not being as much a staple of Saturday cartoons. Saturday cartoons meant less to kids of that time.
Well, there was less of them. I think they really Saturday morning went away.
Yeah. So we're like 15 or so years at least past when anyone was raised on Looney Tunes. So this is purely for the adults who read the trades, who listen to the movie podcasts like us, and know about the vault situation. Mm-hmm. And I think this is getting good reviews so far. Obviously, it's hard to know what's just like fanboys seeing advanced screenings. A lot of people are rooting for this movie. The thing I will say is, I've seen some morons online who are already saying, this movie's going to bomb. What about all those people who said if this got released, it would be a blockbuster? Like, I'm starting to see some people in our space here who are going to gloat when this bombs and say that everyone was predicting this would be huge if it came out. And I think nobody was predicting this would be huge if it came out. All everyone said is, this shouldn't be put in a vault and not seen.
No, but you shouldn't. Movies should be released. It shouldn't be not released for tax purposes, is I think the argument.
Right. So this movie, if this opens up next weekend at $3 million, there's not egg on anyone's face who wanted it to get out of the vault.
And also, wasn't the argument that it wasn't necessarily that it was going to be a blockbuster, but that they heard it was actually good?
Yes.
And the Batwoman movie or the Batgirl movie was supposedly very bad.
Right.
And so there was at least an understanding, even though that was poorly, taken care of or poorly handled. One of the reasons that they put that in the vault is that it was terrible.
Yes.
And this movie was supposed to actually be good.
Right. Yeah, so I think there is a chance that this movie probably is funnier than your average Looney Tunes movie. I mean, Will Forte being the star of it does make you assume it will have way funnier stuff in it than any Looney Tunes, more than Back in Action with Brendan Fraser as the star. I think
And Jenna Elfman.
And Jenna Elfman, yes. I think I could say here Will Forte is probably funnier than Brendan Fraser and Jenna Elfman combined.
I think the thing for me that, and I wouldn't have said this like 5-6 years ago. Mm-hmm. The stay away for me is John Cena.
Oh, wow.
With all apologies to China, I am not a fan
of... The
of...
Nation, not the former pro wrestler.
No, of course, the Nation.
Okay.
I am not a fan of Cena anymore. He is so oversaturated in comedies. Whatever made him interesting in a comedy has completely gone out the window with just repetition. Mm-hmm. He does too many of these bad comedies. So when he shows up in something decent, I don't want to see him.
Wow. Okay.
And so for me, it's a pass.
Wow. Okay.
And I don't know if there's more people that are like me who do think he's oversaturated in a way that's like, he's not even oversaturated at the theater. He's oversaturated at the streaming level.
But this is a chance for his fans to see him in the theater. And I don't think the average person who knows John Cena feels the same way as you do. I think a lot of his stuff has came and went and maybe hasn't been good. But I do think the fans of him are going to be happy to see him in something, especially if it's good. If this is like one that is good, I don't think there's a lot of people who are sort of protesting his appearance.
Well, I would say, listen, I'm only saying this as somebody who is, when you talk about what makes people slap down actual money to see a movie. Right. There is a level of, there's so many Cena movies at home that you could watch for free.
Right.
That are comedy movies.
Yes.
And he doesn't feel like an event for me personally to see in a movie at the theaters.
Right. He's definitely just not kept himself special. That's for sure.
Exactly. But like Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
And even that Wahlberg movie where he plays the mobster in horrible makeup. I think we're both excited to see that.
That's more the freak factor. Wahlberg has not kept himself special at all. But the freak factor of that movie looks really high.
And so that's where what I'm saying with that. You get what I'm saying is that there's nothing special about John Cena in a comedy.
No, definitely not. I don't think anyone's going to be resisting it out of principle. But I agree, he's not kept himself special. He's done a lot of bad comedies. This will probably be much better than anything he's been in a while. But he is not we've got to get the kids, get grandma, because John Cena has a comedy movie out. He's not that. And
that's it. And that's the thing is that when you had comedies back in the day, it was like Mike Myers has a new movie.
Yes, of course.
Jim Carrey has a new movie. Eddie Murphy has a new movie.
Right.
So there was specialness to it.
Yes. Yeah, there's not that. I think this movie, curious to see if it does anything. I mean, again, it's ketchup entertainment. They just cannot promote a movie in a major way. So this is probably something that makes a couple of $1 million, if that. But will it do more than the Porky Pig movie that came out? Because Ketchup has put out a Looney Tunes movie. They put out that Porky Pig versus Outer Space, whatever that was called.
The Day the Earth Exploded?
Yeah, this has to do more than that, right? Just because the notoriety of this is higher, and the fact that it does have human stars who are well known.
Yeah, maybe. I'm trying to think.
It'd be embarrassing if if this movie does less than the last Looney Tunes Ketchup Entertainment movie.
The day the Earth blew up made $8.8 million domestic.
Total. So not the opening weekend, but that was its total.
Opening weekend was 3.1.
Okay. I mean, I guess
I don't know. I feel like this could make $3 million.
It could. It could. I think it's got to go higher than that.
But how much higher? You can't be that much higher on it.
I think it could do 5.
Okay. That's...
Yeah, I think it could do $5 million. And then the last newbie next weekend to mention is Buddy, starring the great Kristen Milioti. She's in a horror movie. Now, this is the movie she did, let's say it, instead of Backrooms. The original star of Backrooms was going to be Kristen Milioti instead of Renat. And I don't know if she, there's different versions. Did she then drop out of the movie to do this Buddy movie? Did something else change? But she wasn't in Backrooms. She's in Buddy. Do you think Buddy, which is basically about Barney the Dinosaur type kid show, but it's a horror movie, is this going to be bigger than Backrooms was at the beginning of the summer?
No.
You don't
This is by
so?
Casper Kelly, the gentleman who did Too Many Cooks in 2014.
Yep.
Which is only 2
ago?
years after the American Pie reunion film. So
Okay.
That's how long ago Too Many Cooks was.
Did Too Many Cooks come out before the director of Backrooms was born?
Oh, no, but I believe that would make Kane Parsons.
Kane Pixels would have been like 5 when Too Many
He
Cooks
would have
came
been,
out?
so 14, it's been, 12 years?
Yeah, 12 years, and he's
So he
21?
would have been
like 9 years old. Kane Pixels
8 or
would have
9.
been 8 or 9 when Too Many Cooks came out. And now this is this guy who did Too Many Cooks, Casper Kelly. He's made a bunch of Adult Swim shows. Adult Swim, I guess, basically doesn't exist anymore. He hasn't made a feature film, right? This would be the first feature. I mean, I guess he made those
Yule logs or whatever.
Those Yule-log movies for like Hulu. So those were movies, but this is first like in a movie theater feature film with a real star type movie.
Yes.
Does Too Many Cooks mean anything to someone who wants to go see a horror movie in 2026? Is that a draw from the director of Too Many Cooks?
Man.
This needed to come out like 8 years ago, right? For Too Many Cooks.
Yeah, I mean,
to
this
still
should have
be
come out in 2016
Yeah.
at the
Yes.
latest.
Well, the thing is, it's a Barney the Dinosaur horror movie, so this should have come out in, 97? When was Barney? Barney was the 90s,
Barney was
right?
early 90s. I mean, remember that famous Charles Barkley cold open, or no, it was a monologue where he...
For SNL, yeah.
Yeah, where he beats up Barney.
Right. That's early. So wait, is that...
That's 93.
So that Barney sketch happens on the episode Barkley hosts where Nirvana is the musical guest.
Look, Mom, your favorite, Nirvana, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then this movie is way past its sell-by date as a premise in several ways.
Yes.
It still looks interesting. And listen, it's a small budget movie. This is not a movie that's expected to, be a Conjuring movie, be an Insidious movie.
Yeah.
But I guess when you say the actress in this movie is doing this instead of Backrooms, that's where you kind of see that comparison.
But when you do, here's something based on something I know, and here's something based on liminal space videos that I don't even know what the F you're talking about. A Scary Barney movie would make sense to someone of her age.
Yes. Kristen Milioti is probably way more familiar with Too Many Cooks on Adult Swim than she is with Kane Pixel's YouTube channel.
In a way where Kane could be explaining to Renat the movie, and she could just be thinking in her head, oh, well, English isn't my first language, so it probably does make sense.
Yes, she's just dying to get a cigarette on in France.
Yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. I'm a fan of this actor, and I was never a fan of Barney, but, I was aware of his existence. And
we were too old for Barney.
Yes, we were way too old for Barney. If me and you were into Barney, that person would not be sitting here right now. If me and you were into Barney, we're in a cell.
A penitentiary.
Yeah.
Now here's something.
It's lethal injection time if you were saying I was into Barney. the age we were at.
I'd want the chair because after seeing Ernest Goes to Jail, it worked out well for him.
Yes.
He got the chair in that movie.
We were the right age to be into Ernest, but not into Barney.
Listener of the show, greatest editor in Hollywood.
Topher, you're talking about Topher.
Topher is in this film.
Wow.
So,
okay.
Fan of the show, Topher, in this movie. So, does that make me want to see it more? Sort of does.
Yeah. I mean, you get Topher, you get Kristen Milioti, you got Barney. My God, Death to Smoochie came out in 2002?
Yeah, that's closer to when this movie. I mean, and that's even late for a bad Barney movie.
Yeah, I mean I think that's a fairly timely comedy, great screenplay. Death to Smoochie.
Well, but that's one of those things that Hollywood moves so slow.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, this movie. The thing is, it is horror, roadside attractions, which is not the lowest end, right? Roadside attractions is I would say a little above a Bleecker Street.
They're pretty close.
Better
They're
than
neighbors.
Black Bear. Yeah.
You're driving past the roadside attraction to get to Bleecker Street.
You're above vertical entertainment, though.
Yes.
You're way above vertical entertainment. So
not that far above. Let's not get crazy.
I think that this is a wide release. I mean, that probably doesn't mean 3,000 theaters. Buddy's probably going to be on 1,200 theaters. But I don't know. I could see this doing a low couple mil next weekend.
It's a horror movie.
Buddy's in the top 10 next weekend. Could we say that?
Oh, it would be. I mean, I feel like that would be a colossal disaster if it's not.
Yeah. So of the three newbies next week, obviously Dog Stars has to be the biggest. Coyote versus Acme versus Buddy, which finishes higher? Let's do that as our prediction.
Oh, wow. Buddy, because it's horror.
Okay. So do you think Buddy gets to 6 million?
No.
And you think Coyote vs. Acme is making 1 or 2 million?
No, I think it makes 3.
Okay. And Buddy makes 4 million?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay. All right. It's not that bad. And if Dog Stars makes 10 to 15, that's $20+ million of newbies on August 28th. Again, that's pretty great for these theaters. And Spider-Man is going to hold huge. And End of Oak Street will do what it's going to do, and Odyssey. The movies are the theaters are getting what they need right now.
I think of all the movies that are in the top, of any of the movies in the top 5, I really think End of Oak Street is the one that's going to plummet because of newbies.
Okay.
Because I think End of Oak Street was at least something newish when it came out, and people have pretty thoroughly rejected it. And then Insidious will drop like a horror movie will drop, so it's going to drop 60%.
Right.
But it still made its bones. And I think that if you're looking for a movie to go see, you're going to want to go see a new movie. You're not going to see a third weekend holdover that nobody's talking about anymore.
Right. Although I will say, breaking news as we start wrapping up here, did get a text from the OG wannabe old girl who hated Camp Miasma, couldn't get a ticket to Spa Weekend last weekend. She just saw End of Oak Street, and her quote is, "The Anne Hathaway Dino movie ruled." And ruled is in all caps. And she does not normally use all caps. So, again, it's anecdotal, but there's people out there who like this movie. But all that said, I kind of agree. It didn't hold in its second weekend. It probably is going to get hit hard by Dog Stars.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a full mailbag, but we're also an hour and a half into this episode. I'm on vacation.
We as much as we love the mailbag, we both equally love it.
Well, here's the thing. I truly do legitimately love it. and
I love it
want
too.
to lance it. I want to lance it, but we're going to find a time to just do a mailbag, like half hour at some point. And we've got to just lance this thing because it's swole, and it's going to burst, and it's going to make a mess. So we've got to lance it, but we just can't do it now.
No, you're on vacation.
I'm on vacation.
You should be by the swimming pool drinking a Mai Tai.
Yes. No matter what time it is.
And I should be giving my lungs a break from soot.
No, you should be getting back in there and shoveling the soot, ingesting the soot, whatever you need to do, because I need to I need to create soot on vacation, and you need to handle it. So we will get to the mailbag very soon. Email us theboboyspodcast@gmail.com. No matter how out of date some of these emails are, we're going to get to them. And it's going to be great content. It's going to be great radio. Follow us on social media at the BO Boys Pod. Subscribe to the Substack. 2 articles went up just in the last few days. 2 huge new articles. There was, of course, a weekend preview for this past weekend, which is still relevant. Take a look at that. And then we did some investigative reporting, Clayton. And on the Substack, there's an article that looks at some unannounced casting for the new X-Men movie. Mm-hmm. We had our insiders feed us some info, and these are going to be announced in the next few weeks, but we're breaking the news of some actors who are getting cast in the new X-Men movie. Article on the Substack. Check that out. Subscribe to the Substack. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are YouTubers. Hey, guys. And 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And that is all I got, Clayton. I got nothing left. I got to go back on vacation.
Pat, you've said it all. There's nothing left to be said.
Great. All right. Going to go hit up the pool right now.
Except for, until next time. We'll smell you